Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rod with Power Group. Today is Thursday, February 9th. May make this video public after the fact, but going to be a quick update today. But we are seeing some red in the markets here, and I think a lot of people are about to be ruffled because there could be some feathers ruffled here over the next few days, few weeks. We need to expect a surprise because of the massive move in the markets over the last couple of weeks, and we have no support on the weekly time frame on the broader market. So the S&P 500, also in crypto. So I'm expecting some volatility, and we know that the SEC could be announcing, haven't heard anything yet, but they said that they could be announcing a big announcement and a big development with regards to, maybe potentially there's some speculation with the Ripple case, there's speculation with Kraken, and there's also speculation with regards to potential staking, some rules around that and some regulations around that. So we'll continue to watch out for that, but haven't seen anything yet. But we'll jump into the market update, and if anybody does have any ticker requests in the Power Group private community, please let me know. But again, if you are viewing this after the fact on YouTube, we do these publicly Monday to Friday for private members. So it's not done on YouTube. If you're wondering why you're seeing this after the fact, it's not an actual live stream for public YouTube. It's for private Power Group members only. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to powergroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. And you can join a membership for the Power Group private community. But like I said, sometimes I'll make this public after the fact. But we'll jump into the market update here. Like I said, Bitcoin is starting daily consolidation again today. Yesterday we had some chop. We broke the high of the previous day. Then we lost the low. And we knew that we were likely due for some pretty big downside based on the fact that we were having some hidden RSI bearish divergence as well. We were trending lower highs and lower lows on the RSI and higher lows and higher highs on the price action. We could be gearing up for an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross as well. And you can see here we're losing EMA 26 and we have no support all the way down to 20,370. And if we take a look at the weekly time frame, we're finally starting weekly consolidation now. And I mentioned that it would more than likely happen this week, last week. So if you were tuning in last week, you were given a heads up and you would have been expecting this, but at the moment we're starting weekly consolidation. So now we're looking at the 0.32 fib there at 21,193. If that holds, it's a potential weekly bull flag. So from here, if we hold that 0.32 fib and then we come up, test resistance and break the high of the bounce at 24,262, that would confirm the weekly bull flag, and the measured move of that weekly bull flag is about 33,000. So this is just extremely healthy at the moment, but don't be surprised if from current levels Bitcoin pulls back another 3-4%. That would just still put us in the realm of a possibility of a weekly bull flag, and we could see a backtest of those EMAs and then an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross on the weekly time frame. And again, this is just very healthy in my opinion at the moment. No major red flags whatsoever. And like I said, if we do lose that 0.382 fib, then we could be targeting EMA 12 there at around 20,250, and 20,000 psychological would be a good area to target a bottom there. But we have no support all the way down to 16,273 at the moment. And we'll be confident that the weekly high or low is set once we were back into a daily uptrend. So we lost the daily uptrend. Now, in order to be confident that the weekly high or low is set and that we're potentially heading back up towards resistances, then we need to confirm a daily uptrend. So we would need something like this with a high, a bounce, a higher low, and a higher high, right? So we still got a lot of work to do with regards to setting a weekly higher low, having just started weekly consolidation, but it is a potential weekly bull flag at the moment. Taking a look at the bull and bear list on the day today, we have HUT, GMX, MARA, and on the bull list we have NDA, BTC shorts, and sell. Let's take a look at a quick couple other names. Like I said, XRP expecting some sort of announcement from the SEC. We'll see whether or not it's related to Ripple versus SEC. We'll see whether or not it's related to Kraken, the lawsuit that they just brought against them for securities violations, or it could be with regards to staking, or it could be something else completely different. But so we'll just keep an eye out. But we are expecting the case to end, Ripple v SEC to potentially end in the next 40 days or so, and we'll get a verdict, right? So it could potentially be a settlement. We'll see. This could end in settlement. It might even get a verdict and then a settlement. That's possible as well. But, I'm not a legal expert. This isn't legal or financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. But you can see here that XRP started weekly consolidation last week. So a little bit of a clue. And we're starting weekly consolidation. We started weekly consolidation last week and continuing this week. So we're just looking for a higher low compared to the low there at 29.8 cents. And again, we'll be confident that the weekly higher low is established once we confirm a daily uptrend once again. But we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross as well over the next couple of weeks on XRP. And we did have some golden crosses as well. If we take a look at Bitcoin, seeing a golden cross with the 50 crossing through the 200-day. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin back tested the 200-day moving average there at 20,000. That's a nice round, or sorry, 19,721. The 50 days there at 20,050. So I wouldn't be surprised if we back tested those EMA, so those moving averages, and come back, form it as support, right? Usually we get confirmation with a back test and then we run, right? So we usually come up, back test, and then we get confirmation, and then we see the real move. But it doesn't have to happen that way. That's just, as per classical technical analysis theory. But we are seeing that massive buy signal here with the golden cross. So look what happened last time the golden cross happened, when the 50 came up through the 200-day moving average, the shorter term below the longer term, and then comes up and crosses with the 50 and the 200 on the daily time frame. That's called the golden cross. When that cross, prices were around $9,000 to $10,000 and went all the way up to 60 to 70,000, right? 69,000. Then we had the death cross with the 50 above the longer term, the 200. Came down, crossed through it, got it back above, ended up being a massive bull trap, and then we got the real move. And we came back down, kiss of death, and then, like I said, when the original death cross occurred, price was at around 35,000. So if you just sold there, yes, it would have went up to a new all-time high. But let's say you would have went short there at around 35,000, we dropped all the way down to 15,000, right? Just because the golden cross happens or the death cross happened doesn't mean we're going to the moon or we're going to the basement tomorrow. Look how long it took, right? When the golden cross occurred back here, it occurred in May of 2020, and then we didn't hit a new all-time high until April of 2021. And then we hit another all-time high in November of 2021, right? And then when the death cross occurred initially, that was in June of 2021, and we didn't really completely bottom out until recently, November of 2022, right? So it takes a while for that to transpire. So that is notable. And just take a look at XRP as well. So XRP actually had its golden cross a while ago. Its golden cross happened back here in October 2022. So this thing could be ready to erupt any minute. And we're speculating that we could see some sort of ruling with regards to Judge Torres at some point over the next 40 days, sometime around March, April. And even Brad Garlinghouse said himself that he would expect some sort of case coming to an end at some point in the first half of this year. So lots of golden crosses out there. Take a look at ETH. Ethereum seeing its golden cross, so it's looking really good, but we could be due for just a little bit more pain temporarily before we see that massive move. And like I said, if we're looking at XRP, if we're looking at Bitcoin, we could potentially see a weekly bull flag. And like I said, that weekly bull flag would be targeting 33,000. Something to be concerned about here as well is that SPY is just a weekly inside bar, so resistance at 418.31. If we break that resistance, then we continue the weekly bounce for the 7th week in a row. And if support at 428 is broken, then we start weekly consolidation for the first time in 7 weeks, right? So almost 2 months. So I am leaning bearish. The fact that Bitcoin starting weekly consolidation gives us a clue that we could potentially see that on the S&P 500 as well. So if you're looking at some individual names and you think that we're down a lot today, well, SPY hasn't even started weekly consolidation yet. So what happens whenever we lose the low? Key support this week's going to be 428. We only got, in the day-to-day 21 minutes plus tomorrow. So it may just be an inside bar this week, and then next week another potential inside bar, and then we get weekly consolidation is what I'm expecting. But we got tons of room for another weekly higher low. So we could easily drop 7 to 8% on the S&P 500, still be in a weekly uptrend. But we could form a weekly downtrend with a lower high and lower low, at which point would negate the weekly uptrend. So that's a possibility that we'll be looking out for as well. But it's all about 428. If that holds this week into tomorrow, if we finish the day tomorrow and we don't lose 428 cents on SPY, then it's going to be the low of this week, next week, that's going to be crucial. If we lose that low, that it might be a good idea to go short and brace for impact, because we could see quite a bit of downside. And then once we start weekly consolidation, again, once we get back into a daily uptrend, that'll indicate our weekly higher low being set, and that we're likely heading back up towards resistances, and we can expect some move to the upside. The dollar, another clue, continuing its weekly bounce for the 2nd week in a row. We had a weekly inside bar, broke bullish, and here we are still in a weekly downtrend though. Anything under 105.63 is just a weekly lower high in a weekly downtrend. So I would expect that we could potentially bump our heads here. We are bumping our heads on EMA 12, and like I said, I've been anticipating a flush of 100 and weekly oversold to mark a potential bottom on DXY, and then that would likely indicate the monthly bounce getting underway. Still 19 days left in this monthly candle, so it's entirely possible that it does happen this month. We need to be prepared for all scenarios, right? Markets can go up, down, or sideways. We don't know 100% with 100% certainty. We just look at the charts and we look at the most probable outcome. And the most probable outcome right now, in my opinion, is that the dollar continues its downtrend, because we're still in a weekly downtrend. We're bumping our head on EMA 12, and we didn't quite hit weekly oversold yet. And like I said, after 100 psychological, we have no support down to 97. So I wouldn't be surprised if we drop to around 97, 98, put us around weekly oversold, print that actual oversold indicator, and then we see a monthly bounce on the dollar. And I do think that leading into March for the next FOMC interest rate decision from the Fed, I think they're going to potentially pause, and we could get a favorable outcome from that. And then, like I said, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. We're going to see a favorable outcome in March. That's what I'm anticipating. And then into the summer, I think we could see an absolute bloodbath into the end of the year, and potentially spillage into 2024. Yeah, we're not looking good here at the moment, and if we do see this bearish candle here this week, if we do have this reversal candle here closing near the low this week at the end of the day tomorrow without losing 400.28, again, it'll be the low of this week next week, but I do think that it could happen as early as tomorrow. Probably not today with only 18 minutes left, but it could happen tomorrow. If not, I am saying about 80% chance we do it next week, and again, Bitcoin being our clue that's starting its weekly consolidation as well. Tesla mentioned today that we have no weekly support. We broke the weekly downtrend with a break of 198.92 resistance, but we have no support all the way down to 101.81, which is all coming off the low. So we have no weekly downtrend anymore. We broke that. We negated that with a break of 198.92, but we still haven't confirmed a weekly uptrend. But we got tons of room. From current levels, we could drop 50%, just be looking for a weekly higher low. And then see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. Still a ways away before we see those cross bullish, but more than likely over the next couple of weeks, in my opinion, leading into to March. Like I said, that would come with likely with a favorable outcome from the FOMC Fed interest rate decision. So I mentioned that Tesla was a massive opportunity for a swing trade off 100 psychological, and it also lined up with the monthly head and shoulders, lined up with an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, lined up with the 0.786 retracement there at 98.99. So we had tons of indicators. We also had a death cross on Tesla. So bring up the daily time frame. You can see here we had a death cross. The 50 crossed down through the 200 when it was above it. That's a death cross. So there's so many indicators saying that Tesla was one of the most bearish charts out there. And after a massive move that we saw right from the lows to the highs, we saw about a 34, 35x. So you need to expect after running from the low to the high there, running 3,400%, well, you need to expect a drop of about 75%, right? So all investments have risk, and I'm still astonished at how some people are still surprised that Tesla's down this month. I remember making a video saying the target was $85. I expected 100, and then a big bounce and a big move, and then potentially 85, and people were just like, "Oh, that'll never happen. This guy's crazy, right?" And lo and behold, like not even a couple weeks later, it actually got to that target. And I just don't understand how people don't understand how markets work and how charts work. Like if we go up 3,500%, of course we're going to drop 30, 40, maybe even 70%, which we did, right? It's just so obvious, right? We have decades and decades worth of history that we can go back on and look at it, right? It's just technical analysis. We even had hidden monthly RSI bearish divergence with lower highs and lower lows on the price or the RSI, and higher lows and higher highs on the price action. So there was at least 5 or 6 major indicators saying that we were heading down to around that 100 psychological, and then playing off 100 psychological. I mean, what a monster trade, right? Could have set your stop just below 100. We hit 101.81. You could have even set it at 95 or 90. Risk, very, very minimal risk, right? You could have risked essentially, 5 to 10% to make 100%, right? That's over 100% now. So that's technical analysis 101, right? Is looking at the risk versus a reward, and the risk was 5 to 10% of downside, and you set a stop loss. The most you can lose 5, 10%, and here you are making over 100% in a little over a month, right? So massive buy opportunity. And this is why technical analysis is great, is because we don't have a crystal ball, but we can look at it and have an advantage, right? JSDA, Coin, and Riot leading the decline today. And on the bullish, we have EHC Day and Tesla. So Canopy earnings were this morning very, very bad. And then we have Aurora after the market. I'm not expecting much from Aurora to move the market, but I wasn't expecting much from CGC earnings. I was definitely bearish. Here we are down 17% on the day today, and they just absolutely got crushed. So you can see here down 4% sequentially to 84.8 million, but their whole net revenue came in at 101. So if you scroll down, you got to remember that they have a bunch of different aspects of their business. So if you scroll down here, you can see net revenue 101.213 million, obviously Canadian since they report in Canadian dollars. And then if we scroll down, it was negative 0.54 EPS, and the forecast was 116.93 million, so big miss on revenue, and like I said, negative 0.54 EPS, and it was forecasted at negative 0.209, so massive miss in both revenue and EPS. So no wonder the stock's getting absolutely pummeled today, and we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross. So yeah, this is bearish as they come. But on the weekly time frame, again, we knew that we were likely due for some weekly consolidation. We're still holding the low there, the 52-week low though, at 209. So if you're looking for some decent entries, it's not a bad idea to start scaling into CGC. I think it's going to be good, long term. But obviously the rest of the sector getting dragged down with it. So CGC, Hexo, and POTX leading the decline today. On the bullish, we have WIB, IMCC, and Oxley. Oxley seeing a decent move, up almost 30% there at one point today, but off the lows, we're now up almost 200%. Hexo finally starting weekly consolidation today. And from current levels, we could still drop another 35%-ish and still just be looking for a weekly higher low. And remember, what did I say about individual names? If we're looking at individual names and you're sitting there biting your fingers, so, oh, can we dip more than here? Can we dip more from here? Well, yes, we can, because SPY hasn't even started weekly consolidation yet. So what happens if we lose 428 and we start weekly consolidation and we drop to 380, 390 on SPY, right? That means headwinds for individual sectors and tickers, right, and stocks. So Hexo already starting weekly consolidation. What if SPY starts weekly consolidation? This thing could easily drop to 125 to $1 and then some, right? But we have the opportunity for a weekly trend change at the moment. So if we hold 90 cents support, form a higher low, the higher low will be indicated with a daily uptrend confirming. Once we confirm a daily uptrend from here on out, the weekly higher low will be set. Then we'll look towards resistances. We'll be expecting a move to the upside. And then if we break the high of the bounce at 178, then we're back in a weekly uptrend. Then we zoom out to the monthly. Then we watch for the monthly bounce to get underway. And then we look for a monthly trend change. We can't be confident the bottom's in until we confirm a monthly uptrend, not just on Hexo, but across the sector. So all eyes on Aurora here after market. That'll be the next catalyst, but again, not expecting a huge movement in the sector from this either way. Starting weekly consolidation as well, holding up a little bit better than some of our other names though. 85 cents going to be next support on Aurora, and if we hold that support there and then break resistance at 120, we continue the weekly higher low and higher high. In terms of USMJ, we have CNBCF, TAT, and Acreage leading the decline today. And on the bullish, we have Halo, Ian, and Medman. MSOS, daily consolidation again for the third day in a row. We knew that was coming. We had a lack of support. We didn't have a daily uptrend confirmed, so this was to be expected. And again, if you don't know anything about technical analysis, that's the benefit of Power Group. That's why I created Power Group, so you don't have to know everything. You can join. We have a group of almost 50 people, paid members, and you can come in and we can share ideas. We can bounce ideas off each other. You don't have to be an expert in every single direction, right? And an aspect of the markets, right? I'm more technical based and like to put my mind in the mind of a market maker. There's some people who are big into financials and things like that. Value investing, that's not really me. I've got enough money that I don't need to make a few pennies, few dollars here and there, right? I'm not looking. People who day trade and they look to make $100 a day, $1,000 a day. That's fine, right? If that's how you pay your bills, I'm not knocking that, right? But I don't need any more money. I don't need any, I don't have any debt. I'm just looking at, putting my money to work in areas that it's going to, potentially yield me, 100x or 1,000%, right? So I'm looking to, put my capital to work. But, I'm not looking for taco gains, right? And not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but there's people in our group who do swing trading. Like I said, Tesla was a monster swing trade off 100 psychological. And, you can, personally, I'm just focusing on names that haven't run yet, right? Sectors that haven't run yet that have a big catalyst upcoming. And that would be utility tokens and crypto. So your XRPs of the world, your XLMs, your algos, your HBARs, your links, right? And then, obviously MJ. So, well, like I said, there's no shortage of opportunity out there in the market, but if you just learn a little bit about charting and technical analysis, you would know that, we needed to be expecting daily consolidation on MSOS. We needed to be expecting weekly consolidation on a lot of our MJ names, right? Because we hadn't done so in about a month. And then Hexo's a prime example, right? From the low there at 90 cents all the way up to 178. So basically 100% of a move, and it's still in a weekly downtrend, hitting EMA 12 resistance, upper wicks, and no weekly uptrend confirmed, still in a weekly downtrend, and hadn't consolidated after 100% move and over a month, right? So we needed to expect that weekly consolidation. And then again, Bitcoin giving us a clue. So if you're only looking at MJ, if you're only looking at one MJ stock or MJ itself, you're not looking at SPY, the broader market, you're not looking at tech, you're not looking at crypto, which is mirroring tech, you're only getting a small piece of the picture, right? It's just all extra tools that you can put in your tool belt to help you with the most likely scenario in the markets. So like I said, everybody's different. You got to do what works for you. There's no right or wrong way. There's only your way. Just figure out what you're looking to do. Personally, I'm just dollar cost averaging names like MJ. Only thing I feel comfortable buying is utility tokens. So, some altcoins in crypto. That's my biggest investment right now, dollar-wise. And then MJ. They're getting to be around the same dollar-wise. But then I have mutual funds, I have real estate, but again, I'm not buying real estate that's highly inflated. I'm not going to Toronto to buy a $500,000 condo, right? In the outskirts of Toronto. I'm not going to Vancouver. I'm being very selective, and I'm using Airbnb as well, right? So I'm double dipping. I'm making, over 100% ROI on my investment in my condo on Airbnb, right? Sometimes almost 200% ROI, right? That's crazy, right? If your expenses are $1,000, you're making $2,000-$3,000 a month. That's $1,000-$2,000 profit, right? Net. So that's what I'm looking for. Plus, if you buy a condo in areas, and I'm going to do a video on this as well. I did this in PEI, right? I bought super low and my house doubled in value, and I was making 100% ROI month over month on the rent from the duplex, right? From two rents, right? Two sides of the house. My expenses were only about $1,000-$1,200 a month, and I was bringing in around $2,000, right? So about 100% ROI on the rent, plus my house doubled in value, right? So that's what I'm looking to do. Right? I'm not looking for taco gains. I got enough money. You need to figure out what you want, right? Are you looking to make $100 a day? Are you looking to pay your bills? Are you looking to quit your job and do trading full time? Or are you looking to retire and be financially free for the rest of your life in the next couple of years, right? Or do you want to work for the next 10, 20 years and just pay the bills, right? Like there's nothing wrong with either of those. But obviously you need to have a big appetite for risk and not invest any more than you're willing to lose. But start small, right? You don't need to invest $100,000 into crypto or tech stocks or MJ to become wealthy, right? $1,000 in a Dogecoin, you'd be half a millionaire, and about 2 years later, if you would have bought Dogecoin in March 2020 lows in C19, right? So you don't need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you did, you're probably one of the ones who never want to invest ever again, because most people buy the top and sell the bottom, right? So again, it's just knowing market cycles, boom and bust cycles, buying when there's fear and selling when there's greed, right? So SPY trying to stop the bleeding here a little bit on the 5-minute chart. We're bouncing pretty nicely here, up over 0.5% on the 5-minute chart. Still no trend change here. Still in a 5-minute downtrend, but still no 5-minute trend change. And we are topping out at EMA 26 there. So could see resume selling here into the end of the day. Checking in on the POW Group private community, see if there's any news developments. Again, we have all these different channels. So we have dedicated channels. This is all, it's all pulled automatically. So I have an algorithm and a bot that pulls all of this news automatically. You got general news, Forex news, crypto news, commodity news, cannabis news, right? We even have POW algo alerts to buy and sell signals on different stocks and cryptos. We've got different channels for crypto, MJ, commodities, electric vehicle, right? And like I said, a group of about 50 people that you can hit buy and you can bounce ideas off of before you hit the buy and sell signal. All right, going to wrap it up there. Again, watch for a potential weekly consolidation into next week. Not expecting it tomorrow, but it could happen. All about 428 on SPY. If we lose that, things could get ugly. But again, it'd just be healthy. And again, if you don't know technical analysis, you wouldn't know that it was healthy, right? You'd be looking at mainstream media or whatever, and you'd be letting them feed your emotions. So it's all about 428. That holds tomorrow. Then we look at the low of this week next week. And we'll see if the SEC comes out with any, still haven't seen anything yet, but we'll see if the SEC comes out with any news developments. Might even be after market close when everybody goes home and, packs up for the day. Classic manipulation fashion. All right, going to end it there. It's Rob with Pow Group. Hope you have a great night. We'll talk to Pow Group private members in the chat room in a few minutes. For everybody else that's viewing in from YouTube, hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll talk to you again soon.